Hola, buenos días. Good morning. Mi nombre es Eva Biotto y mis pronombres son ella y soy su coordinadora del programa de exploración religiosa de los niños. My name is Eva Biotto, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm your Sunday Children's Program Coordinator. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church, thank you, of Fresno, California. Welcome to everyone on our Alluvial Avenue campus. Welcome to everyone on our online campus. And welcome everyone joining us later on Facebook or YouTube. We are one congregation in many places. Somos una congregación en muchos lugares. Our Alluvial Avenue campus sits on the traditional homeland of the Yokuts people. They are the past, present, and future stewards of this land that to them is very sacred. In these complicated and uncertain times, I assure you that here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, you are welcome here, no matter your race or culture of origin. We celebrate you no matter your primary or secondary language. Our welcome embraces all those with or without documentation, con papeles o sin papeles. Those who are part of the LGBTQ plus community, LGBTQIA plus community, are welcome here. We welcome gender diversity. We celebrate those who are transgender, non-binary, gender fluid, gender expansive, intersex, or too fabulous to be contained by any word. We love you. We love you, we cherish you, and we hope that you will feel safe and welcomed here. You are welcome here no matter your religious background or spiritual beliefs. You are welcome no matter your age. Your neurodiversity is welcomed here. You are welcome no matter your disabilities, level of formal education, or amount of money in your bank account. All are welcome here. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. If you are on our online campus and want to join and want your joy, sorrow, concern, or gratitude included in today's service, please text 559-337-3772. Be sure to text your name as well so we know who you are. You can also type it in the chat box as well. We now have an update from our Alluvial Pledge Drive team. So I'll hand it off to Cheyenne.
Good morning, buenos dias. I'm Cheyenne. Good morning. I'm Cheyenne. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve gratefully as the team lead for our annual pledge drive. Yes, our pledge drive team is truly a team in many places. Margaret lives in Tennessee. Deborah often joins us from Pennsylvania or the van traveling across the country. This morning, Mona is on our online campus in the foothills of the Sierras.
Good morning. My name is Mona Jones-Romancic, and my pronouns are she, her. We are now entering our 5th week of the pledge drive, and things are going very well. But if we're going to remain together in love and justice, we need our past pledge members and friends to renew their pledge for another fiscal year, which begins on July 1st. Knowing how much financial support we receive allows church leadership to finalize a budget based on real dollars, not hopes and guesses. A month ago, we mailed or emailed our pledge information to last year's pledgers. To make a pledge, you can snail mail back your pledge card, send an email to pledge@uufresno.org, scan the QR code that will appear on the screen in a moment, or stop by and pick up a pledge card at our pledge team table on the Alluvial Ave campus. We also encourage and need first-time pledgers who want to join us in keeping UU Fresno's progressive religious values front and center in the Central Valley and beyond. Now, back to Cheyenne.
Thank you, Mona. The pledges for this past week have been totaled, and we begin the 5th week of our pledge drive. We're happy to report, drum roll. Yeah. We now have a total of $454,307. That is almost $50,000 more than last week and is 75.7% of our goal of $599,760. We only have 145,453 left to go. We can do this. We can do this. Let's stay together in love and justice. Can you say that with me, with us? Let's stay together in love and justice. And one more time, let's stay together in love and justice. One more time, let's stay together in love and justice. Thank you.
In a moment, we will have the opportunity to say buenos dias and greet one another, but we know that some of us would rather sit quietly during this time, and we honor that desire as well. So feel free now, as you wish, to say hello, good morning, buenos dias to those around you or in the chat box.
Buenos dias. Let's try that again. Buenos dias. And I just have to say how awesome it is to see so many people on this side of the sanctuary at the tables having fun. We love that you're here. Welcome, welcome. Round of applause for that side of the sanctuary. Our choir is about to sing an anthem that for many of us carried us through the pandemic. The words were so meaningful, and I love that we're carrying these words forward into this new challenge that we all are living in the midst of. So let's allow the sound of the tingsha, an ancient sound, to carry us to that place within that knows that we are good, that knows that we are loved.
We shall be known by the company Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Christine Myers. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve gratefully on your worship arts team. If you have a candle or chalice with you on our online campus, bring it close as we'll be lighting it soon. This morning, we have special chalice lighting words from Lori.
Good morning, and buenos dias a todo. My name is Lori Mitchell, and my pronouns are she and her. I serve on the Norelma Walker Youth Library team. And now I'd like to share with you some stories about 3 different women. Malala Yousafzai. At the age of 15, Malala was shot in the head by the Pakistani Taliban while traveling home from school. The assassination attempt was in retaliation for her demands that girls receive an equal education to boys. She survived and went on to become the youngest individual to win the Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 17. She continues her work as a champion of human rights. Ida B. Wells. One of the founders of the NAACP, Wells was an investigative journalist and one of the first individuals to report on lynching in the US. After traveling around the country, investigating lynching incidents, she learned that lynching was not due to black men raping white women. Rather, lynching was happening due to consensual interracial relationships and white individuals feeling threatened by economic competition. Wells published her findings in a pamphlet titled Southern Horrors, Lynch Law in All Its Phases. Following this publication, she was forced to flee Tennessee for fear of her life. She fled to Chicago and continued reporting on lynching and speaking to audiences in the US and Europe. Clara Barton. After risking her life to bring supplies and support to wounded soldiers during the Civil War, ending the title of Angel of the Battlefield, Clara Barton went on to found the American Red Cross. Working with influential friends and contacts, such as Frederick Douglass, Barton served as president of the organization until the age of 83. Her legacy continues to this day. And now, I'd like to leave you with a couple of thoughts. When I was a union rep, every time my boss would get a call from some school administrator stating that I needed to learn some manners, I would just laugh because I knew I had done my job. Because as Lema Bowie, winner of the 2011 Nobel Peace Prize for her nonviolent work in ending the Civil War in Liberia, said, "It's time for women to stop being politely angry." Okay. In that spirit, please light your chalice or candle at home. Susan, will you kindle the flame in our Alluvial Avenue chalice? Let us rise now in body or spirit and join in singing the song of praise, "We'll Build a World."
1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a world where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised world that can be. Come build a world where siblings in spirit, anointed by love, made and create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a world where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn. And we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a world where peace is born. Come build a world where siblings in spirit, anointed by love, made and create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a world where the of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where like oaks of righteousness stand her people. Oh, come build the world, my people, we sing. Come build a world where siblings in spirit, anointed by love, made and create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
I invite us to remain standing as we say together the words of our mission. La misión de la Iglesia Unitaria Universalista de Fresno es amar inclusivamente, crecer espiritualmente, servir con gratitud y trabajar por la justicia. The mission of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno is to love inclusively, grow spiritually, serve gratefully, and work for justice. Please be seated.
So I first became involved with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno back after I had my first kid, and I was kind of looking for that spiritual, religious community. But when I came to the first service here, I was kind of hooked, and I thought, I think I found my home. When I had my second kid, it was very different from my first experience because the pastoral care team here really stepped in and just would bring me meals and would check in with me. And they made me feel so, cared for. We really need to sustain that sense of community and, that sense of hope in the face of all the things that are happening. I think it's easy to kind of try to have that spirituality on our own, but it's so important to have people around us as well who are questing for the truth and seeking together. I think that's what's really important. Having this church has really helped me find a place here because I will, for a while there, I was like ready to up and move out of Fresno. So, finding people who share the core values that I hold very sacred has been huge in helping me feel not so alone. And so having that support here is, it's made a big impact in my life, and I think that it can continue to make a big impact in a lot of people's lives going forward. in order to have that sense of community, that sanctuary that we have here, it doesn't happen without community support as well. So I think it's really important that if we want to continue having this space for us, we have to also show it by, supporting it financially. I think it's really important that we're here, that we're a sanctuary, that we're a safe haven for those in this community that may not feel that they have a place. I think that we continue to, we need to continue being that welcoming presence in this area.
Thank you, Tai Tai. At this point, we're going to sing our kids and our high schoolers off to their spirit explorations, heading out the front doors.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go.
For those of us who remain, I invite us to take in a breath, imagining that we are breathing in some much-needed peace and breathing out some much-needed love. And again, taking in a breath, we breathe in peace. We breathe out love. One more time together. Breathing in peace. Breathing out love. As we continue breathing together on this day in this place that we make holy with our humanness and our true desire to be together and to be recalled to our best selves again. As we breathe, imagine that breath could carry you back over the last week, the last 7 days of living. The joys, the sorrows, the concerns, the gratitudes. And 2 questions. In the past week, what was a favorite sign of spring? Just claim that hope and plant it in your heart for a moment. And knowing that 7 days of living await each of us, what word or intention do you want to carry with you into the new week? Each week we create space. We create space to breathe together, to be together, to acknowledge our individual and shared joys, our sorrows, our concerns, our gratitudes. Some of us stopped at the small table on the entranceway to the sanctuary and wrote that down on a card. Others of us texted from our online campus. This is just a little bit of what is alive among us and beyond us today. We have someone anonymous saying this is Joy from Jenny. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Joy from Jenny, wishing the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, a happy 15th birthday. And God knows we need another 15 years and more of that. A good friend, Dax, says, war is not the answer, only love can defeat hate. May it be so. And Andrew Livingstone has a sharing that is beyond the word joy, and it gives me great joy, Andrew, to read your words. Andrew says, I had great news in the week. My oncologist said I am in remission. Andrew goes on to say, yay, looking forward to starting work soon. Thank you to my wonderful UU family here and at home. And we'll continue to hold you, Andrew, in our thoughts, in our prayers, and in our multitude of joys. We also remember those who cannot be with us today because of health or mobility. We think fondly and warmly of Judy P., Armin B., Glenda R., Pat M., and Robin C. Looking beyond our congregation, we remind one another that this is a time for us to embody compassion and resistance as we witness our government's ongoing assault on freedom, democracy, and human decency. We also acknowledge that Muslims around the world continue their sacred time of fasting, prayer, and reflection, Ramadan Mubarak, that Thursday was the Persian New Year, a holiday celebrated for millenniums, celebrated by an estimated 300 million people worldwide. Happy Nowruz. And Earth-based neo-pagans also celebrated the spring equinox on Thursday, and here on Friday with our own festive gathering on our Alluvial Avenue campus, a blessed Ostara to all. And as Laurie said at the beginning of the service, March is Women's History Month. And it breaks my heart to say that we continue to grieve that hostages are still held by Hamas, and we grieve the government of Israel's return to genocidal violence against Palestinians in Gaza, over 600 killed in just 5 days. This attack on civilian lives, including innocent women and children, is a crime against humanity. For all that's been shared, for everything that we hold in the sacred stillness of our own hearts, we light our candle of community. In its light, we join our voices in our call to meditation. There is a love, I un amor.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. Un amor sosteniendo todo que amo. Hay un amor sosteniendo todo, yo descanso en ese amor. There is a love holding you. There is a love
our words of prayer or reflection are from the Reverend Dr. Jennifer Kwong. Dr. Kwong grew up in the Philippines and is of Chinese ancestry. Reverend Kwong currently serves the First Unitarian congregation in Toronto. For these, our words of prayer or reflection, Dr. Kwong has taken the ancient traditional words of the three jewels of Buddhism and reinterpreted them for Unitarian Universalists. Let us turn inward in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Let us pray. We take refuge in all that is holy. We take refuge in sacred teachings throughout the ages. We take refuge in our community of faith and in the interdependent web of life. Que así sea, bendito sea. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Trust. What a concept nowadays, am I right? Trust is simple. I trust that when I turn on the faucet, water will flow. I trust that when I flick a switch, a light will come on. I trust that when I use current slang words in front of my kids, they will cringe, and it is glorious. Trust is complicated. I trust my marriage will be forever until it isn't. I trust my body to function until it doesn't. I trust our leaders will have our best interests at heart until they don't. Kobe Yanada said, "Sometimes you have to take the leap and build your wings on the way down." Anyone else resonate with that? I would like to share a personal experience of this. When I was in my early 20s, I was rocking a hand-me-down station wagon. It had everything I needed: 4 wheels, a radio, and AC. Plus, I could cart all of my friends around easily. It wasn't glamorous, but it suited me just fine. Then I was in a minor car accident, and because the car was a wee bit old, the insurance company decided it wasn't worth fixing and handed me some cash for a new set of wheels. I knew instantly that I was going to purchase a stick shift, because although I had tried and failed before, it felt like a good skill to have. And what better way to ensure I learned that skill than buying a car that required it? So I got myself a sporty Saturn coupe. Yes, I am that old that Saturn was still the company. And enlisted a friend to teach me how to drive it. After a few parking lot sessions and driving it on surface streets, I felt ready to try it on the freeway. Well, my worst nightmares came true. I stalled out on the off-ramp, but spoiler alert, I did not die of embarrassment. I put on my hazards and worked first gear until blessedly I got it going again. This happened a few times, but eventually I was driving like a boss. Years later, I was able to drive a stick on the opposite side of the car on the opposite side of the road when I visited Ireland. It was intimidating at the time, but now it's a great flex, so worth it. To paraphrase Ruben A. Alves, I was hearing the melody of the future and dancing to it in the present. May we all have the faith to do the same.
I invite us to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our next song, Love Will Guide Us. If you don't know it, you'll probably pick it up pretty quickly. Love Will Guide Us.
For thousands you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. You are like no other being. What you can give, no other can give. To the future of our precious children, to the future of the world where we live. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from free to giving, love will guide us through the hard night. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Please be seated.
Why don't we offer Stool and Thunder our appreciation as they head off the stage.
So, my neighbor and I do not see eye to eye on much of anything, especially politics and religion. But we share a backyard fence and a front yard tree, so we try to be cordial with each other. At least I do. On Friday, my neighbor asked what I was going to be preaching about today. And I said, my sermon is about where we can place our trust in an unstable world. His eyes gleamed, and I knew he was about to zap me. That's a no-brainer, he said as he opened his wallet and handed me a dollar bill. Read it, he exclaimed, and then paused and waited for me to do so. In God we trust, I replied, reading the words on the back of the dollar bill. He smiled a victorious smile. Case closed, he said, and he walked away. But at least I got to keep the dollar bill. In God we trust. In a lot of the world's religions, that is a core foundation to rest upon in an unstable world. Trust God, God will guide you. I think of those well-known words from the Jewish scriptures, Psalm 23 to be exact. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. Or, from a more modern translation, because the Lord is my shepherd, I have everything I need. He lets me rest in the meadow grass and leads me beside the quiet streams. He gives me new strength. Even when walking through the valley of death, I will not be afraid, for you are close beside me, guarding, guiding all the way. You are close beside me, guarding, guiding all the way. Now, for some of us, those words might speak deep spiritual truth. In God, we do trust, and that brings great comfort and solidity to our lives. But as Unitarian Universalists who welcome and honor a wide variety of spiritual beliefs, we know that there's others of us for whom a belief in God just doesn't resonate. We find meaning in life without a divine power. One of the most liberating and energizing aspects of Unitarian Universalism is that we are each invited to pursue a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, which means our spiritual beliefs may be different for each of us, and those beliefs often change over time. That begs the question, where do we place our trust in an unstable world? Where do we place our trust in an unstable world? I truly believe that this is one of the great and key religious questions in life. I believe it's a question that each one of us must answer for ourselves. Where do I place my trust in an unstable world? Where do you place your trust in an unstable world? But if this is one of the key religious questions in life, it seems that we need to do more than answer that question individually. It seems that we, as Unitarian Universalists, should also be able to collectively answer that question, because we are more than individuals. We are individuals who are creating beloved community together. But how do we answer that question when we believe differently from each other? In what do we trust? In an unstable world, what do we have faith in? Unitarian Universalist minister, the Reverend Robert Walsh writes, "When the great plates slip and the earth shivers and the flaw is seen to lie in what you trusted most, look not to more solidity, to weighty slabs of concrete poured, or strength of cantilevered beam to save the fractured order. Trust more the tensile strands of love that bend and stretch to hold you in the web of life that's often torn but always healing. There's your strength. The shifting plates, the restive earth, your precious life, they all proceed from love, the ground on which we walk together. Love, the ground on which we walk together." Reverend Julian Jamaica Soto echoes this saying in words that we've been quoting a lot lately. "We don't always know what comes next, but that cannot dissuade us. We don't always know just what to do, but that will not mean that we are lost in the wilderness. We rely on the certainty beneath, the foundation of our values and ethics. We are the people who return to love like a North Star, and to the truth that we are greater together than we are alone." Could we say that together, please? We are the people who return to love like a North Star, and to the truth that we are greater together than we are alone. As Unitarian Universalists, love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared principles and values. In other words, as Unitarian Universalists, in love we trust. In love we trust. Yeah, amen. Let me hear an amen. So, I mentioned this concept, in love we trust, to a colleague who serves as a minister in a faith tradition very different from ours. And they kind of poo-pooed it, saying, love is a byproduct of God, but God is the source of love. What is the source of love for Unitarian Universalists? I explained that for Unitarian Universalists, the source of love is less important than the result of that love. The source of love is less important than the outcome created by love. For Unitarian Universalists, inclusion is what love looks like in community, and justice is what love looks like in public. Could you say that with me? Let's say that together. Inclusion is what love looks like in community, and justice is what love looks like in public. Inclusion is how we build beloved community here in our congregation, between us, and justice is how we build beloved community out there in the world. As he's wont to do, my colleague pushed back at me, saying that the source of love is what is stable and solid. It is something you can grab onto, he said. It will carry you through. If you're only reaching for the result or the outcome of love, my colleague said, you are left grasping at something fragile, fleeting, human, and elusive, something ethereal. Maybe so. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to reach for that. In a beautiful essay entitled Faith and Belief, Reverend Jackie Clement writes, last summer, my husband John and I were canoeing in New Hampshire. At the end of the trip around the lake, I climbed out of the canoe first and had 1 foot in the lake and 1 foot in the canoe. That's when things went wrong. While taking my foot out of the canoe, I caught my heel on the edge. Losing my balance, I instinctively reached for the most solid thing within my grasp, the canoe. There are times when grabbing onto what appears most solid and stable is exactly the wrong thing to do. When I resurfaced, I saw my husband sitting in 1.5 feet of water, fishing for his glasses on the lake bottom. In my attempt to save myself, I took an innocent bystander down as well. Jackie Clement continues, I tell this story not to demonstrate my lack of boating expertise, but to say that I understand the emotional impetus to try to grab onto what seems most stable and solid when the world is tipping us off our feet. In religious terms, we might say we are driven to hold ever more tightly to our beliefs when we are under stress. Jackie Clement writes, like grabbing a canoe for safety, depending on belief to keep us from going under is to grasp at the wrong thing. It's not our belief that we need to hold on to, but our faith. Though the two are often taken to mean the same thing, there is a subtle and critical difference. She writes, faith is a deeply seated confidence, vital to our very existence. Faith is a deeply seated confidence. Belief is only what we think is true, though we wouldn't stake our lives on it. Faith, she says, leaves room for mystery. Belief does not. As Albert Einstein wrote in his personal credo, the most beautiful emotion we can experience is the mysterious. Jackie Clement concludes saying, sometimes what seems the most solid and stable is only an illusion of stability. Things that appear more ethereal, that may seem to be the toughest to grasp, are in fact the most stable and secure. Love and community may seem to be intangible ideals, but if nurtured, they can serve as the very bedrock of our lives. Would you say that last part with me? Love and community may seem to be intangible ideals, but if nurtured, they can serve as the very bedrock of our lives. As I said in a sermon last month, I think it's a profound spiritual act to put love at the center of a community. I think it's a profound spiritual act to put love at the center of this church community. To do so means we must together together embody that love. And the spiritual teachings from the world's religions are clear what that love must look like. The Buddhist scriptures teach love is the bridge that connects hearts. Speak with kindness. Choose love over hate, for love brings peace. Islam teaches that Allah is full of loving kindness and that Allah passes that attribute onto the humanity that He created. And we must pass that loving kindness onto others through the way we treat each other. The Christian scriptures tell us famously that love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not act rudely or selfishly. Love does not count up offenses. Love takes no pleasure in injustice, but rejoices with the truth. Love always, always, always protects. So say the Christian scriptures. Chad Snyder writes, love speaks to the real pain in the world. Love knows. It knows hate and fear, selfishness, greed, bullet and blade, the cutting edge of indifference. Love knows, and love does not let us turn away. Love is loud. Love clamors. It shouts down and fires up. Love does not suffer the suffering of others in silence, but resonates in silent space held for another's story. Love is the spirit of this, our church. If we choose it, give it voice. And if we make that choice, then love will guide us. In love. In love we trust. Que así sea, bendito sea. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
name is Christine Myers. Our call to offering is by Francis Cozier, adapted. Now is the time we have an opportunity to make a special financial offering. As a self-funded congregation, we do always need money, but we also need volunteers and social justice advocates and friendly smiles and greeters and folks willing to wash dishes after today's coffee hour. So please know there are many ways to donate. And if just being here and resting without doing something is what is best for your spirit right now, you are still always welcome here, no questions asked. We are grateful for anything you feel able and willing to give. In that spirit, let's join in our words of offering. If not us, then who? If not open hearts, then what? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? If not generously, then how? If not us, then who? Si no somos nosotros, entonces ¿quién? Si no con corazones abiertos, entonces ¿qué? Si no es ahora, entonces ¿cuándo? Si no es aquí, entonces ¿dónde? Si no damos generosamente, entonces ¿cómo? Si somos nosotros, entonces ¿quién? There are many ways to electronically give while the baskets are passed in person in our Alluvial Avenue sanctuary. If this is your first or second time with us, please let the basket pass you by. Your being with us today is your gift. The morning offering will now be gratefully received. May this church continue to be worthy of the many forms of our gifts. In these complex times, we can choose to dance to the music of the future today, beating our growing wings in time to the rhythm of trust and love. As we prepare to end our service and enter our afternoon, please join us in our chalice extinguishing words, led by Karen and Troy.
Extinguimos esta llama, pero no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón.
We
extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts.
And now our favorite part of the service, the reminders.
Thank you. Let's hear it for Christine and again for Stolen Thunder, Umberto at the keyboard. So Cecily Callahan is our coordinator of community life. If you are new or newish to this church community, she is your go-to person to help you figure out that path moving from this being a place that you visit to a place that you feel you belong. Also outside today in our quad courtyard is coffee hour, and it is a beautiful day out there. if you are new or newish and it can feel a little awkward sometimes going to a coffee hour when you don't know anybody, we've solved this problem for you. There is a tablecloth with a table with a turquoise tablecloth on it. And there's a sign that says visitors. All you need to do is get your coffee, go to that table, and a member of our board of trustees will be there, and it will be their job to carry on the conversation with you. You don't have to do a thing. So that also is an option. Also meeting today at 12:15 is our newly forming BIPOC group. It'll be from 12:15 to 1:15 in the youth room garage, and it's also on Zoom. You join other Black, Indigenous, people of color community members for rest, play, community, and connection, and that gathering will be hosted by none other than Cecily Callahan. Also happening after the service today is our Unitarian Universalist Association Common Read. Congregations across the country are reading the book Authentic Selves, celebrating trans and non-binary people and their families. Today is the final section, but you don't have to have attended any conversations or read the book to have a worthwhile time spent. So that will be out in the foyer at 12:15 as well. Last but not least, at 12:15, we will be having a memorial plaque dedication for Babs and Saul Eskin. Their daughters and beloved son-in-law brought some of Saul's artwork for those who might want to have an artistic memento from Saul, and those drawings are at the table in the entranceway to the church. Last but not least, we like to invite folks who are here for the first, second, or third time. We do it not to embarrass you, but we are genuinely glad that on a spring morning as beautiful as this, you chose to be with us. So if this is your first, second, or third time, could you please rise for just a moment? We won't leave you standing alone for long. Welcome, 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 welcome. Woo! I invite the rest of the congregation to rise with them for our closing words and our sung benediction. If you came with the pod, feel free to join hands. If not, you can place your hands over your precious heart. These closing words come from my father-in-law, the late Reverend Herbert Vedder. May we forever hope in the possibilities of life. May we forever share the adventures of ideas. May we know peace by not expecting the impossible. And may we know joy through helping what is possible come true. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. Let's sing.
2, 3, 4. May we have safe passage, safe passage. May we have safe passage, safe passage on your railway, safe passage on your way, wanderer, safe passage on your way, searcher, safe passage on your way, sweet pilgrim, safe passage on our way. We have safe passage, safe passage.
Shalom and assalamu alaikum. Happy spring.